Well, hello everybody. We're going to take a ride on the Ducati today. And yeah, hopefully you can hear me through most of the ride. Once we pick up speed, a lot of times the wind kicks in and all of a sudden we get a lot of static because you can't hear me then. But yeah, we're just going to take a nice leisurely ride on the Ducati today. It's warm but not too warm. It's just really muggy. But I felt like I needed to get the Ducati out and air it out a little bit. It doesn't get ridden often enough. Mainly because I don't like to put miles on it because I'm trying to sell it. Because I'm crazy that way. And I didn't bring my gloves, but I don't think I'm going to need them. She is a really nice riding beast. She rides wonderfully. But I hate riding down the gravel road on her. But there's so much humidity in the air that the dust isn't kicking up today, which is kind of nice. Supposed to be 97 tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. I don't have a planned destination. I figure we'll just take a ride and we'll see where we go. See how many bugs we pick up on our windscreen. Probably should have wore some gloves just because it makes the controls a little bit more comfortable, but then my hands get all sweaty on a day like today. I try not to rev the motor too much when I'm in the housing track here. Well, not really a housing track, but there's the school and houses on one side of the street. We just came off of a country road, so we have this short little spurt before we get up here to the main road that takes us to the freeway. But I'm not sure which way we're going to go. Maybe we'll go left. We'll ride towards Winterset. I'm not one to go out without a helmet on, so I always wear a helmet regardless. I know there's no helmet law here in Iowa, but I still wear a helmet. And now the wind's probably picking up and you probably can't hear me. But I don't really know what to do to change that. Well, other than change my mic setup. I mean, it's so sticky that my grips are sticky. From the moisture in the air. Chances are this video won't even get posted if there's a lot of wind noise. I'm not sure how to combat it when it happens, other than I guess I could do things like could close the front air flap, because that might be coming in right on the mic. But I don't feel like stopping and dealing with that right now. Make sure I brought my wallet. Kind of have to have ID on you, don't you? I also don't go speeding around either. I ride the speed limit. I don't care. I'm not that young guy anymore that feels like he just needs to go like a bat out of hell. These days I just like to enjoy the ride. Take it nice and casual. This bike has all the power you could possibly want, but I never use it. I mean, I've had it up to triple digits. You know, you kind of have to. You got to see what it does once in a while, but once I saw what it did, I went, okay, yep. It goes from 60 to 120 in a blink of an eye, and I was like, all right, I don't need to go any faster. It was still pulling at 120, so I'm pretty sure this bike tops out at about 150 or 160. I'm not sure. But again, I'm not a 20-year-old kid. I don't need to go that fast anymore. I hate being on the freeway and doing 10 miles over the speed limit and still having people riding my ass. Because everybody thinks I need to be doing 90. We don't have a bunch of twisties here to enjoy the ride with, so you get what you get. The one thing with this Ducati is, like all Ducatis, she gets warm. Quite warm. And because you're basically sitting right on top of the motor, you start to feel it on like your, well, the exhaust runs right next to your calf. So you start to feel it there, even with the heat shield. It's not bad on a day like today, but when it's really hot out and this bike really starts to heat up, you feel it. Kinda gets you. I know this is supposed to be a ride and chat with this old guy, but I don't know what to chat about. I'm just kinda going. You know, sometimes you're just riding along and you feel like you're just talking to yourself. Sorry if you heard that. I was trying to adjust the pop filter on the mic. It's hitting me in the lip. A triple digit there for a second. Don't tell anybody. I don't get in trouble. But we went from like 58 to 102 in no time. But don't tell anybody I did that, okay? I had to blow out the cobwebs. She pulls like a mother. She got 92 foot-pounds of torque, so that's a lot of torque on a motorcycle. Once she gets up to about 6,000 RPMs, she grabs. She grabs and goes. She also starts to drink a lot of gas, too. I can conservatively get about 45 miles to the gallon out of her, but if you're getting on her, you're probably going to be down in the 20s. That's for a motorcycle, that's not good. But again, 1200cc V-twin, basically a slightly detuned race motor. What do you expect? Hard to believe I want to go from this to basically like a 300cc dual sport that'll, you know, have nowhere near the power. I mean, this bike will annihilate that in second gear. But again, I'm not a young kid. I'm an old guy. I don't need to be out here trying to kill myself. But like I said, every time I ride this, like right now, just the feel of this bike on the road, she's so solid. She's so tightly machined. You can feel that Italian craftsmanship and just the way she's put together. You can tell that it's just an exotic elite machine. Even though the monsters were hodgepodges, they were kind of thrown together originally, which is leftover parts. This last iteration of the trellis frame version with the 1200cc motor are extremely refined, and they're the last of the true monsters. The newer ones just aren't the same. And a lot of people will say that about the new Panigales as well. The new Panigales just aren't quite the same as the older ones, especially now with the newer platform, the dual-sided rear swing arm. They've gone away from the traditional Desmo motor, which is, for your average rider, is good because it means that maintenance is going to be a lot cheaper and a lot less frequent. But for the true Ducati lover, the true person that you know, that appreciates the heritage of these bikes, the Ducatista, if you may, they don't feel like real Ducatis anymore. They're a little too tame. You jump on some of the older bikes and they feel like they're trying to kill you, and that's what guys like about them. They're a handful, and you have to ride them with a lot of respect. The newer bikes, with all the rider aids, you know, the management systems on them, they make it so that somebody that doesn't have a high level of skill can still ride that bike and hopefully not kill themselves. Unless, of course, you're buying like the V4R or something, and then, you know, you're still talking about a bike with 200 plus horsepower. I think the V4R might have 220 horsepower. I'm not sure. I haven't paid attention. But again, that's more the race bike. It's really the newer V2. It's been tamed down, I believe. I've talked to people that say it just doesn't feel like a real Ducati to them. Look, I am not a Ducatista. I am not a Ducati aficionado. I know what I know, and it's enough to appreciate this bike and to appreciate the older Ducatis, and to know that if I was in that market for wanting a Panigale, it would be an older one. It'd be like an older 1199. Hell, I mean, an old 996 would be really nice, but again, I don't need one of those bikes. I don't even need this bike. I need a dual sport. Something I can take on the backcountry roads, but then jump on the highway like this once in a while and go for a ride. Hopefully the camera's not giving you that that Dutch tilt or whatever it is. Sometimes I get the camera and it's set at that slightly askew angle and I can't really tell. So you get what you get. I'm babbling. I'm talking about nothing. Hopefully I didn't bore the hell out of you. So, with that said, this is kind of the end of this short little stint of this part of the ride. And I will catch you all later. You guys have a good day. Bye.